Tago Mago is the third album by the German krautrock band Can, and was originally released as a double LP in 1971 by United Artists. It was the band's second studio album and the first to feature Kenji Damo Suzuki after their previous vocalist, Mooney, quit the band in 1970 to return to the United States. Tago Mago has been described as Can's most extreme record in terms of sound and structure. The album has received much critical acclaim since its release and has been cited as an influence by various artists. Recording and production: after Mooney left Can in 1970, the remaining members were left without a vocalist. Bassist Suzuki happened to meet Kenji Damo Suzuki when the latter was busking outside a cafe in Munich. He introduced himself as a member of an experimental rock band and invited Suzuki to join them. That evening, Suzuki performed with a band at the Blow Up Club and subsequently became a member of Can. Tago Mago was recorded in 1971 by Suzuki in Schloss nahe Paragraph Ravenisch, a castle near Cologne. The band was allowed to stay there for a year without paying any rent by the owner, an art collector named Mr. Vochwinkel. This was the first of Can's albums to be made from not only regularly recorded music, but combined in between recordings, where Suzuki secretly recorded the musicians jamming while waiting for various technical problems to be resolved. Suzuki would edit these long, disorganized jams into structured songs. According to Suzuki, the album was named after Isla de Tago Mago, an island off the east coast of Ibiza. Recording was completed in 3 months. It was originally released as a double LP in 1971 by United Artists. In September 2004, the album, along with the majority of Can's discography, was remastered and released as a hybrid SACD. The re-release includes a booklet with commentary on the album by Bobby Gillespie of Primal Scream and David Stubbs, as well as previously unreleased photos of the band. In 2011, for the 40th anniversary of its release, the 2004 remaster was released again with an extra disc of previously unreleased 1972 live performances. Single: the side-long track Hallelujah was shortened from 18½ to 3½ minutes for the B-side of the single Turtles Have Short Legs, a novelty song recorded during the Tago Mago sessions and released by Liberty Records in 1971. A different, 5½ minute shortened version of Hallelujah would later appear on the compilation Cannibalism in 1978, while the single's A-side remained out of print until its inclusion on 1992's Cannibalism 2. Music: Julian Cope wrote in krautrock sampler that Tago Mago sounds only like itself, like no one before or after, and described the lyrics as delving below into the unconscious. Tago Mago finds Can changing to a jazzier and more experimental sound than previous recordings, with longer instrumental interludes and fewer vocals. This shift was caused by the dramatic difference between Suzuki and the band's more dominant ex-singer Mooney. On the album, Can took sonic inspiration from sources as diverse as jazz musicians such as Miles Davis and from electronic avant-garde music. The album was also inspired by the occultist Aleister Crowley, which is reflected through the dark sound of the album as well as being named after Isla de Tago Mago, an island which features in the Crowley legend. Suzuki reflects that the album was an attempt in achieving a mystery musical world from light to darkness and return. The group has referred to the album as their magic record. The tracks have been described as having an air of mystery and forbidden secrets. Tago Mago is divided into 2 LPs, the first of which is more conventional and structured and the second more experimental and free-form. Paper House, the opening track, is one of the shorter songs on the album. Allmusic critic Ned Raggett depicted the song as beginning with a low-key chime and beat, before amping up into a rumbling roll in the midsection, then calming down again before one last blast. Mushroom is the following track, which Leone noted as having a darker sound than the previous song. Oh Yeah and Hallelujah contain the elements that have been referred to as Can's trademark sound. Damo Suzuki's vocals, which shift from soft mumbles to aggressive outbursts without warning. Jaki Liebzeit's manic drumming. Holger Suzuki's production manipulations. Both Oh Yeah and Hallelujah use repetitive grooves. The second LP features Can's more avant-garde efforts, with Roni Sarrig, author of The Secret History of Rock, calling it as close as it ever got to avant-garde noise music. Featuring Holger Schuke, a unregistered trademark S-tape and radio experiments, the tracks AUMGN and Peking O have led music critics to write that Tago Mago is Can's most extreme record in terms of sound and structure. AUMGN features keyboardist Ermin Schmidt chanting rather than Suzuki's vocals. The closing track, Bring Me Coffee or Tea, was described by Raggett as a coda to a landmark record. Reception and influence. Tago Mago has been critically well received and is credited with pioneering various modern musical styles. Raggett called Tago Mago a rarity of the early 70s, a double album without a wasted note. In the book Kraftwerk, Man, Machine and Music, Pascal Bussy described the double LP as hugely influential. The album is listed in the book 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die, in which it stated, "Even after 30 years Tago Mago sounds refreshingly contemporary and gloriously extreme." Many critics, particularly in the UK, were eager to praise the album, and by the end of 1971 Can played their first show in the UK. Various artists have cited Tago Mago as an influence on their work. John Lydon of the Sex Pistols and Public Image Limited called it stunning in his biography, Rotten, No Irish, No Blacks, No Dogs. Bobby Gillespie of Jesus and Mary Chain and Primal Screams said the music was like nothing I'd ever heard before, not American, not rock and roll, but mysterious and European. Mark Hollis of Talk Talk called Tago Mago an extremely important album. Mark Bolan listed Suzuki's freeform lyricism as an inspiration. Johnny Greenwood and Thom Yorke of Radiohead cite the album as an early influence. There have been attempts by several artists to play cover versions of songs from Tago Mago. The Flaming Lips album In a Priest-Driven Ambulance contains a song called Take Me to Mars, which was an attempt at covering the song Mushroom. However, the band members had only heard the song once and didn't have a copy of it at the time, so the song is only similar sounding and not a proper cover. The Jesus and Mary Chain have covered the song more faithfully to the original. It was performed live and included on the CD version of Barbed Wire Kisses. British band The Fall recorded a song indebted to the Tago Mago track Oh Yeah entitled I Am Damo Suzuki, named after the Can singer, on their seminal 1985 LP This Nation's Saving Grace. Remix versions of several Tago Mago tracks by various artists are included on the album Sacrilege. Track listing: all songs written and composed by Holger Schuke, Michael Caroli, Jaki Liebsleit, Ermin Schmidt and Damo Suzuki. 40th Anniversary Edition. Personnel: Damo Suzuki Euro vocals, Holger Schuke Euro bass, engineering, editing, Michael Caroli Euro guitar, violin, Jaki Liebsleit Euro drums, double bass, piano, Ermin Schmidt Euro keyboards, vocals on AUMGN. Production UH Euro original artwork and design, Andreas Torkela Euro design. References. Further reading: Cope, Julian. Krautrock sampler. Head Heritage. ISBN 0-9526719-1-3. Warner, Alan. Tago Mago, Permission to Dream. Bloomsbury Academic. ISBN 978-1-6289-2108-3. EPDF and EPUB editions are also available. External links: official website, Tago Mago at Music Brains, Tago Mago at Discogs, Tago Mago at Discogs.